Is your cat secretly bored? Hi human, I'm Rice Cake. I'm here to help humans understand cats a little better, and today we're talking about a very important question. Is your cat secretly bored? Now, a lot of humans think boredom in cats should be obvious. You imagine a cat staring sadly out the window like a tiny Victorian orphan, or lying on the floor dramatically, as if life itself has lost meaning. And yes, sometimes boredom can look quiet, but very often, cat boredom does not look poetic. It looks annoying. It looks like chewing things you care about, running at bad hours, attacking your feet, knocking objects off shelves, meowing for no clear reason, picking fights, getting weirdly obsessed with one dusty corner of the room, staring at you like you personally failed the entertainment industry. So today, I will help you figure out whether your cat is secretly bored, what boredom actually looks like in cat language, why it happens, and what you can do before your cat turns your home into a low-budget action movie. Let's begin with the short answer. Yes, your cat might be bored, especially if your cat lives indoors, has a repetitive routine, does not get enough satisfying play, and spends most days rotating between sleeping, staring, and inventing crimes. And boredom matters more than humans think, because a bored cat is not just a cat who is kind of underwhelmed. A bored cat is often an understimulated cat. And understimulated cats tend to create their own excitement. Unfortunately, that excitement is not always convenient for you. Now, before we get into the signs, let's clear up one thing. Being relaxed is not the same as being bored. Cats sleep a lot. That part is normal. We are not tiny productivity coaches. We are designed to rest, conserve energy, and then use it in short, intense bursts. So if your cat naps a lot during the day, that alone does not prove boredom. The real question is this. When your cat is awake, does life seem mentally and physically satisfying? That is what you should be asking. A cat can sleep a lot and still have a rich, interesting life. But a cat can also sleep a lot because there is absolutely nothing better to do. That is where the problem begins. So let's go through the signs. 1. Your cat has random bursts of chaos at terrible times. Yes, I am talking about the zoomies. Now, some zoomies are perfectly normal. Cats are built for short bursts of speed and intensity. But if your cat seems to explode into wild, chaotic activity on a regular basis, especially at night, boredom may be part of the reason. A cat who has not had enough satisfying activity during the day often stores up energy. Then later, usually when you are trying to rest like a weak and fragile creature, that energy comes flying out all at once. The sprinting, leaping, skidding, hallway racing, curtain-related ambition, all of that can be your cat saying, I have needs, and no one addressed them properly. Again, not every zoomie means boredom, but repeated, intense, badly timed chaos can absolutely be a sign that your cat needs better outlets. 2. Your cat keeps attacking your feet, hands, or moving body parts. Humans love to call this being naughty, very helpful, very advanced. What it often is, especially in younger or more energetic cats, is redirected hunting energy. Your feet under the blanket move. Your hand passes by. Your ankle walks through the hallway. Suddenly, your cat acts like they have been personally summoned to battle. This does not always mean aggression. A lot of the time, it means your cat is underplayed and understimulated. Cats are predators. Even pampered indoor cats still have that hunting system built into the body. We are wired to stalk, chase, pounce, grab, and finish. If that system does not get healthy, satisfying expression, your body parts may become the low-quality substitute. Very rude for you. Very logical for us. If your cat seems obsessed with ambushing you, boredom should absolutely be on the list of possibilities. 3. Your cat starts knocking things off shelves like it's a personal mission. You know the behaviour. The glass, the pen, the makeup brush, the charger, the decorative object you bought because you thought it looked tasteful. One little paw, slow eye contact, push. Humans often interpret this as cats being evil, manipulative, or deeply committed to psychological warfare. That is unfair. Sometimes knocking things over is curiosity. Sometimes it is attention-seeking. Sometimes it is just the joy of testing gravity, because gravity remains one of the more reliable forces in life. But boredom can absolutely play a role. A bored cat will often investigate, poke, paw, bat, flip, and experiment more because the environment is not providing enough meaningful stimulation. If there is no structured fun, we may make our own. And yes, sometimes your favorite object becomes the experiment. 4. Your cat seems weirdly obsessed with you all day. This one surprises people. Humans often think more attention from the cat automatically means more affection. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes it means your cat likes you. But sometimes, your cat is following you around, meowing at you, interrupting you, sitting on your keyboard, and staring into your soul because you are the only interesting event in the building. That is not exactly a compliment. If your cat has no toys worth using, no climbing spaces, no prey-style play, no enrichment, and no real novelty, then of course your existence becomes the main source of activity. You become the television, the toy, the staff, and the emotional support furniture. Again, some cats are naturally social. That is normal. But if your cat seems clingy in a restless, unsatisfied way, boredom could be underneath it. By the way, if you want more help understanding cats before your living room becomes a boredom crime scene, subscribe, ring the bell, and stay here with me. Good. Back to your cat's suspicious little lifestyle. 5. Your cat ignores toys but still seems restless. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings humans have. You wave one toy in a sad little circle for 8 seconds, your cat does not care, and you conclude, my cat just isn't playful. Not necessarily. Sometimes the problem is not that your cat does not want stimulation. Sometimes the problem is that the toy is boring, the movement is wrong, the timing is off, or the playstyle does not match your cat's instincts. A lot of cats do not want a toy shoved in their face. They want something that moves like prey. Something that hides, darts, pauses, escapes, reappears. Something that allows stalking, chasing, and pouncing. Something with rhythm. If your cat seems uninterested in toys, but still restless, vocal, destructive, or too focused on ambushing your body, do not assume the cat has no desire for play. Often, the cat just does not want bad play, which honestly is a reasonable standard. 6. Your cat overgrooms, overeats, or gets strangely fixated on repetitive behaviors. Now we need a little nuance here. These behaviors can have different causes, and they are not always about boredom. Sometimes they can reflect stress, anxiety, environment, habit, or even medical issues. So this is not a one-cause-fits-all section. But boredom can contribute to repetitive behavior. A cat with too little stimulation may begin over-focusing on certain activities simply because there is not enough else going on. Excessive grooming, overeating out of idle routine, repeatedly checking one spot, meowing for activity, sitting in front of a cabinet like it holds the meaning of life. Understimulated animals often create repetitive loops. It is not always the same as boredom in a casual human sense. Sometimes it is under-enrichment, frustration, or lack of satisfying outlets. But the pattern is worth noticing. If your cat seems to be doing a lot of something, but not in a healthy, fulfilling way, that may be a clue that the daily environment needs improvement. 7. Your cat sleeps all day and comes alive only when something finally happens. Again, yes, cats sleep a lot. That part is normal, but if your cat's entire awake life seems to depend on random accidents you walk by, the door opens, a package arrives, a bug appears, someone shakes a bag, the vacuum enters the chat, then your cat may be living in a very low stimulation environment. A healthy indoor cat life should include some structured interest, some challenge, some movement, some opportunities to observe, climb, chase, think, and choose, not just waiting around for fate. If the most exciting part of your cat's day is the sound of you opening a drawer, I would gently suggest we can do better. 8. Your cat picks fights or creates drama in a multi-cat home. In homes with more than one cat, boredom can show up as social mischief. One cat keeps chasing another. One cat keeps pouncing on the other at bad times. One cat keeps lurking, staring, ambushing, provoking. Humans sometimes call this bullying, and sometimes it is. But sometimes the cat causing trouble is not just mean. Sometimes the cat is understimulated and redirecting energy into the nearest available moving object, which unfortunately is the other cat. This is why enrichment matters even more in multi-cat homes. A cat who has no satisfying outlets may turn the household into their personal entertainment system. Not ideal, especially not for the victim. 9. Your cat seems frustrated, not just lazy. This is a subtle one, but important. A bored cat does not always look sleepy. Sometimes a bored cat looks dissatisfied. They sit in the middle of the room looking restless. They walk somewhere, then stop. They meow, then walk away. They check a space, leave, come back, knock something over, run off, return, stare at the wall, then bother you again. This kind of unsettled energy can mean the cat wants something: movement, stimulation, novelty, a challenge, a better outlet, but does not know where to put that need. Humans sometimes call this weird behavior. Sometimes it is just unspent cat. 10. Your cat seems more interested in tiny environmental changes than in anything you planned. The string from the shopping bag? Fascinating. The box the toy came in? Better than the toy. A patch of light moving across the floor? Incredible. The cabinet you accidentally left open? Best thing this week. If your cat becomes wildly interested in every accidental bit of novelty, that can tell you something. Not that cats are ungrateful, although I admit the evidence is strong, but that small changes in the environment are powerful because the baseline environment may be a little too dull. A cat who is getting enough satisfying stimulation usually still enjoys novelty, but a cat who is starving for it may latch onto every tiny change like it is a major cultural event. So yes, if your cat loses their mind over a paper bag and ignores the expensive thing you bought, part of the story may be boredom. Now, let's talk about why boredom happens so easily in indoor cats. The answer is not that indoor life is bad. Indoor life can be wonderful, safer, more stable, more comfortable. The problem is not indoor life itself. The problem is flat indoor life. In the wild, or even in a more varied outdoor setting, a cat has things to track, smells to investigate, movement to monitor, choices to make, places to climb, risks to assess, prey to hunt, patterns to notice. Indoor life removes many of those challenges, again, often for good reasons. But if nothing replaces them, the world can become too repetitive. And cats are not just decorative roommates. We are alert, sensory, predatory little creatures with brains that like patterns, movement, choice, and problem solving. We do not need chaos, but we do need more than one couch and your occasional emotional support. So what can you do if your cat is bored? First, play better. This is the biggest one. Not longer for the sake of longer, better. Use wand toys. Move them like prey. Let them disappear behind furniture. Let your cat stalk, chase, and pounce. Build tension. Let the cat win sometimes. A few good sessions a day can make a huge difference. Second, improve the environment. Add climbing options, perches, scratching posts, hideouts, window access, rotating toys, puzzle feeders, soft places up high, things to watch, things to investigate, things to do besides waiting for your next mistake. Third, rotate novelty. Do not put out every toy forever and expect them all to remain magical. Some toys should disappear for a while and come back later. Same with small enrichment items, tunnels, cardboard, paper bags, treat puzzles, and even play locations. Fourth, make meals a little more interesting when appropriate. Some cats enjoy food puzzles, scatter feeding, or simple opportunities to work a tiny bit for part of their meal. Not every cat becomes an intellectual over this, but it can help. Fifth, look at the daily rhythm. If your cat sleeps all day because nothing happens, and then loses their mind at midnight, the issue may not be the midnight part. The issue may be the empty middle. Give the cat something to do before bedtime. Give the cat better outlets earlier. Build a day that makes sense from a cat's point of view. And finally, do not confuse independence with lack of need. A cat can look calm, self-contained, and low maintenance while still being understimulated. Just because your cat is not crying dramatically in the corner does not mean the current setup is enough. So, is your cat secretly bored? Maybe. If your cat is chaotic, destructive, restless, over-focused on you, weirdly undersatisfied, or wildly excited by tiny changes, boredom may absolutely be part of the picture. Not because your cat is ungrateful, because your cat is built for more than existing decoratively in your apartment. If this video helped you understand your cat a little better, subscribe, ring the bell, and stay with me. I'm Rice Cake, and I still have a lot to teach humans. And remember, a bored cat will always find a hobby. You just may not like the hobby they choose. See you in the next lesson.